I just dropped you guys when I pushed the start button. Yeah, look at that. Did you like? Pretty sweet, huh? What's happening, road dogs and highway hounds? So, trying to go to bed, and I keep getting these tweets. This is actually the first day that I've had a Twitter conversation. I didn't understand how that was possible, but I get a notification. I thought if anybody tried to talk to me on the Twitter thing, I'd totally miss it because I never look at it. At BTC4LTC is my Twitter handle. Not just a sheep or was tweeting me. Just tweet me on the way home. I'm working like 14 hours a day and then come home and I got stuff to do and feel like I should be making videos, but I just don't feel like it. It's like in the truck, it's so noisy that it's just a pain in the butt, and I don't like to sit still. I like to go until I drop, but so a couple of things I need to talk about. Not just a sheep was asking what a Turing complete what is Turing complete? Because we're talking about Ethereum and RSK labs. He sent me a video, Joe Lubin from Ethereum, and I don't know if he was excited about it or he wanted me to watch it, and I ended up watching it because I just wanted to know what he was talking about. But Joe Lubin's talking about how he was a programmer or something and working with computers, and then he went to work for Goldman Sachs and then ran a hedge fund and all that kind of stuff. And not that any of that stuff makes you a bad person, but it's not the kind of characters that I want around my cryptocurrency at its foundation. Something you gotta remember when Ethereum. Actually, I got a picture. When Ethereum was created, they raised $20 million to create Ethereum. Okay? There's a picture of Vitalik creating Ethereum at a beach house in Miami, Florida, at a conference. Why this costs $20 million, I have no idea. Why would you need to raise $20 million to do that? He's writing Ethereum right here. And this is from an article. Sorry. It's from an article, and I'll try and find the link to it. But talking about it's talking about this Miami beach house that that he went down to. And this picture, it's like there's a weed pipe on the table. So they're down there smoking weed, like right there. It's like a glass pipe of some kind. But they're talking about going to Miami, Florida, raise $20 million to develop Ethereum. And this story here, which they'll probably delete, which is why I printed it out and have a hard copy. This everybody was in awe with Vitalik. It was like, ooh, it's the new Satoshi or whatever. The one who's going to do it. So they raised $20 million, invited a bunch of people. They were at a conference in Miami, and I don't know the specifics. I'll try and find that link, and I'll put that link below. So they're down there, and the article talks about beer bottles and stuff scattered all over. We see the picture of Vitalik writing the thing. There's a weed pipe. I don't think it's probably not his. I think he's smarter than that. But everybody down there partying it up, and whatever, but why does it take $20 million to sit there and write a program? That's what I'm saying. Charlie Lee worked at Google, and he said he did it in his spare time. He just thought it was interesting and tweaked a couple things. But I mean, he didn't write the Bitcoin code from scratch or the Litecoin code from scratch. I mean, he just altered a few things, so it was easy for him. But I mean, I'm writing a business plan right now, and I don't need to raise any money to do that. I just need to sit down at my computer and write what's in my head out on the computer. And that's what Vitalik was doing. He had this stuff in his head, and he just needed some time, you know, you know, probably just sit next to him and, you know, go get him something to eat every once in a while and some water, and he'd probably be just fine. Don't look like he eat that much anyway. He'd probably get a heck of a deal. I bet you I could have funded Ethereum for under $100 if I was in charge. But that's just me. No, but so they raised $20 million, had a beach party, invited all the top Bitcoin people there. Joe Lubin is a was a Goldman Sachs, worked at Goldman Sachs, ran a hedge fund, so he's the chief operations officer, and they're down there partying that. And then what they do is they mine these coins. Okay, they pre-mine a bunch of coins. They held a pre-sale. Okay, with that pre-sale, they had, I can't remember how much. It's been so long since I looked into this stuff. You have to do your own research. There was more than just Joe Lubin from Goldman Sachs. There was a Dr. Costa and somebody else. You have to ask Joe Lubin who all from Goldman Sachs was involved with it. Um, but there was Dr. Costa and somebody else. So they did a pre-sale, and I was around at the time of the pre-sale, and I watched, and I was excited too because I was on the bandwagon. Everybody thought this was going to be the great thing. It's Turing complete, and that's where the question from more than just a sheep or something. I forget. Sorry. Um, write in a comment if it's you on the channel so I know who you are because I don't know who you are on this channel. I know who you are on Twitter, but I don't know who you are on this channel. But anyway, my point is that RSK Labs, this is why I'm so excited about us RSK Labs, is because they did this pre-sale, and you looked at the website. I was there, and I wanted to buy in, and I was like, okay, well, how many coins are they going to make? And they didn't tell you how many coins they made. They were going to wait for the money to come in, then they'd decide how many coins they were going to make, which is pretty crappy in my opinion. And I didn't invest in that at that time. I was like, I think that's when I probably steered away from Ethereum because I didn't like that. Well, then whatever. I bought some later because I thought, oh man, I missed the boat. I should have bought the pre-sale, which I don't think I should have because to me this whole thing. I mean, I'm in it. I'm a libertarian, small L, not a firecracker throwing libertarian like some people. I'm not a. I love my country, but I just wish it would adhere to the Constitution. I'm more of a constitutional conservative. I think if we just obeyed the Constitution, it would solve 90% of the problems in this country and in the world. If the United States, if as Americans we just adhered to our own Constitution, it would solve our problems. So a lot of people's problems, and that's so. Where am I going with this? So I didn't like the pre-sale. They raised like $60 million in Bitcoin, so they're sitting on a mountain of Bitcoin. Who knows how many they kept for themselves of in the pre-mine? They gave some to the developers, and the rest were from the $60 million in Bitcoins they raised. So now you've got Joe Lubin is in charge of the $60 million in Bitcoin, plus who knows who he would have been the guy as a hedge fund manager. He would have been the guy going out and making sales at the pre-sale. He'd be going to Goldman Sachs, former people at Goldman Sachs, and saying, "Hey, it's your old buddy Joe. I really think you ought to pay attention to this. Joe, you're a good guy. Hey, here's 5 million. Great. I'll send you the Ethereum. Okay, cool." And then he goes, that's what hedge fund managers do. They sell big things to big institutional investors. Okay? So you've got these big players buying into Ethereum, and they create their own coin. They've got all the freaking I don't know. And that's so basically who's in control of Ethereum? Well, Joe Lubin raised 60 million in Bitcoin, right? The people that he knows personally were probably the ones that he raised it from. So he's probably very closely associated with those people. And there was probably a handful of people like me who donated at the Ethereum. And those are the people that are on YouTube making videos, pumping it up and saying, Ethereum's awesome. So beware of who you're listening to on here, because they probably have a lot of Ethereum. You could buy 2,000 Ethereum for $600 at that time during the pre-sale. So all of that dirty, icky stuff is why I am so excited about RSK Labs. Okay? And here's RSK is going to make possible. See, Ethereum was trying to solve a problem. Vitalik had the idea. We will be able to write Facebook type things on the Ethereum platform. We will be able to write smart contracts. It's going to be Turing complete. What is Turing complete? Nothing is Turing complete, really, because it means it's programmable to infinity. But your computer has finite resources, but in effect, it is Turing complete because there's so much memory on there that you're never going. They used to run out of space, but they're you're not going to run out of space on a computer, and you're not going to run out of space on Ethereum, and you're not going to run out of space on what RSK Labs is doing. Faucet.rsk.co. There's a faucet there, and you can download a Jax wallet from jax.io and start getting free RSKs. I don't know if they'll be worth anything when it goes live, but chances are it probably will. The reason why I am so excited about RSK Labs and why I keep talking about it so much, and I put a logo in my truck and advertise for them for free and kind of just tell you guys about it, is because this is the most exciting thing to me in Bitcoin and Litecoin, because it's bringing this Turing complete, this fully programmable money on a side chain to Bitcoin and Litecoin. That's why I'm so excited about RSK Labs. What really got me going was when I read their webpage and they said that they were going to use Bitcoin and not create their own coin like Ethereum did. Okay? That's why it's so cool. And I'm waiting for my buddy over at RSK to get back with me, but I probably should touch base with him, see what's going on. But anyway, that's why I'm so I'm stuck with Bitcoin and Litecoin, because it's the gold and silver. And like with all this stuff that's going on now with the scaling debate, it's coming to our attention, and people are freaking out and losing their minds, and just acting like fools, me included. I've had my moments, uh, but no. But the thing is, with all these altcoins, from the beginning, when I first made this channel, I didn't make it to do these videos, but nobody was talking about Litecoin. But I named it Bitcoin and Litecoin because of the gold and silver concept. If this is going to be money, like a transfer of value, it's a good thing to keep that principle intact, because it's been around for thousands of years, and it's something we can all agree to disagree on. And so that's why I support Bitcoin and Litecoin, is simply not because I'm, all gaga over Satoshi or Charlie Lee or whatever. It's because that is what money has been, and they were released fairly. They weren't released like Ethereum. And that's why Ethereum is the plague to me. It's anathema, it's accursed, it's cut off. I don't want anything to do with Ethereum. It's no good. That is tainted. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it's flawed at a fundamental level. But RSK Labs, www.rsk.co, is the anti-venom to Ethereum. Alright? So I'll put a link below. Look in the comments, and I will put some interesting information down for you to look at. Just to dig a little deeper. Alright? Adios, muchachos. I'm out of here. I might do another one because I got another question from somebody.